Our next speaker is a homegrown example, Nicola from NAB, one of Australia's largest and most important banks. And it's a project based in the Daintree Rainforest in Australia, World Heritage Area. So welcome, Nicola.
Great. Thanks, Andrew, and hi, everyone. I'm jumping way too far forward. This is going to take me a little getting used to. As Andrew mentioned, for those of you not from Australia, NAB's one of the big four Australian banks here, and importantly, and I guess relevant to this presentation, we're one of the largest agribusiness banks globally. So generally when people think of agribusiness banks, NAB and Rabobank are the banks that jump to mind. I thought I'd start today by taking you through our environmental agenda to provide a little bit of context. NAB's environmental agenda focuses on three key issues or challenges, being climate change, resource scarcity and natural value. And that funky little diagram down the bottom there is to try and show the evolution of our thinking around those three issues. So while we've had an environmental policy in place since 2003, it was only really around 2006 when our strategy team sat down to identify the 5 key horizon issues for the organisation, or the emerging risks that were going to impact our business and our customers, with climate change being one of those that the business really started to take this seriously and develop a considered response. So that response involved the organisation going carbon neutral by 2010 and reducing our emissions by 25% over that period, but also developing an environmental financial solutions team to provide products and advisory services to our customers, and setting in place minimum requirements for our suppliers to raise their environmental performance. The next part of the evolution when we achieved carbon neutral in 2010 was around resource scarcity, which was a natural next step for us, I think. And the program of work there was really to look at our operations and our major areas of impacts and set inside some fairly ambitious resource efficiency targets. And one of the key benefits there was that we managed to reduce our paper use by over 50% over that period through a digitisation agenda, so digitising a lot of our customer and shareholder communications and reducing our own paper use as well. And then in 2011, again looking at those key global risks, ecosystem degradation and biodiversity loss was identified as another issue where the bank could play a significant role, and the organisation's response to that was to develop our natural value agenda. I'd say of these three issues, climate change was one that our employees really managed to grasp have a really good understanding of the issue. I mean, you can open the paper on any given day, and there's plenty of information around climate change. Similarly, in the resource efficiency space, reducing our own environmental impact and doing things more efficiently is how we run our business. So that was very easy for people to understand. The relevance of ecosystem services and biodiversity, though, was a little bit more challenging. And to address this, NAB developed this concept of natural value. So I'm sure you're all familiar with the old adage, you manage what you measure, and I don't think that could be more true anywhere other than the finance sector. So this concept of natural value is taking natural capital and applying a lens of economic valuing of ecosystem services and the natural environment. And I think this was particularly a little bit more difficult for our people, because when you look at the risks to our organisation, being a service sector organisation, it's not related to our direct environmental impact, but the risks and opportunities are really through what we do with our supply chain and also through our lending activities on the customer side. So NAB's had a partnership with Earthwatch for some years now, and around 12 to 18 months ago we saw the opportunity to use that partnership to really bring to life this concept of natural value for our employees. So Norm Duke is the scientist that we've been partnering with. He's a professional research fellow with the Mangrove Hub up at James Cook University, and his research focus is around the ecology of mangrove forests in Australia, and in particular investigations into the damaged mangrove ecosystems. And this was this program of work in the Daintree, which is a World Heritage listed area, provided a brilliant opportunity for NAB, in that it's very close in proximity to where a number of our customers operate, both in the agricultural sector as well as local government and in tourism. So it provided us with the opportunity to give our employees a really strong business context, and they were able to go out and meet with some of our customers to understand not only how their operations were impacting on that World Heritage area or that part of Queensland, but also the benefits that that area was providing to tourism operators, etc. And the result of this initiative has really been a two-way flow of really incredibly valuable knowledge and experience. So when we look at how the partnership has provided value to our organisation, it's really increased our participants' awareness of our environmental agenda, and also how this benefits not only our business but also our customers. They're coming away with this transfer of knowledge from the scientists of ecosystem services and biodiversity, and also those interdependencies for our customers and the risks and opportunities that are available to them. And I think just getting out there and physically in the field, you just can't replicate that sitting in the office reading a book. So that hands-on experience and getting to have those face-to-face conversations with both our customers and the scientists has been invaluable. It's also enabled us to create a network of natural value champions and Earthwatch alumni who have been able to bring back that knowledge and that passion and that understanding to the office and share that with their colleagues. And I don't think you could speak to anyone who's been on an Earthwatch expedition who hasn't come back talking about what a transformational experience has been for them personally, and it's really motivating a lot of our people to really integrate consideration of environmental risks and opportunities into their day-to-day jobs. And that little collage on the side there was one of the Earthwatch alumni sent that through to me, and I think to a lot of you out in the field, you probably see that on a day-to-day basis, but for a lot of our people, it's really their first exposure to this sort of opportunity. And then I'll just touch briefly on how the partnership has provided value to Earthwatch. So obviously, on the on-ground level, there's some very practical assistance that our people are providing to the scientists in terms of supporting them with data gathering, measurement, etc. But what we've found is they've been so engaged around the work that they've been doing in Queensland that a group of them have are actually providing ongoing support. So they've taken what they've learnt in the field and they've actually set up a mangrove monitoring survey down in Victoria in Barwon Heads. So that work's continuing. The other thing I think, the other area where we've really managed to transfer skills is around mathematics and statistics. So I think for a lot of scientists, maths and stats is an unnecessary evil and a bit of an aside, whereas for a lot of people working in the finance sector, nothing gets them more excited than developing more efficient spreadsheets and databases, etc. So that's been a real area where our people have been able to provide support in that transfer of skills. And then at a higher level, there was one participant in the 2014 program who works out of one of our Sydney offices, who's a bit of a maths guru, and he's developed a relationship with the scientist where he's been able to help him develop a model and predictive tool using his mathematical expertise, way above anything I could ever do, to show the areas of mangroves most at risk. So. And they're continuing to work on that together, which has been fantastic to see. I think for Earthwatch as an organisation, the increased understanding about how business thinks around these issues in terms of valuing the environment and what drives business to incorporate sustainability into our programs and support programs such as Earthwatch has been incredibly valuable. It's helping them now when they go out to promote Earthwatch opportunities to other businesses to really, I guess, talk in the language that business uses. And I'll finish up there because I know there's a couple of other people.